Welcome to the Good Buddies Anime Podcast. I'm your good buddy Brandon.
And I'm your good buddy Roger.
And we back.
We back again.
We back again.
We're back in the studio.
One more
game. Brandon will try to tell you is not a studio.
It's fine. Hey man, I ain't fighting nobody.
I was listening to playback on the last one. I was like, man, he's capping on my fucking studio.
It's fine. It's fucking fine.
I've been wanting to bring that up a whole damn week.
It's fucking game room. Don't lie to me. It's a game room.
It's a studio, dude.
All right. It's a game room
there
with studio equipment.
There are microphones and lights everywhere.
It's a game room with studio equipment.
It's decorations, man.
All right, if you want to be an asshole about it. See, you left the door open. You're going to be puffing on your puffer during this session.
No, dude, I ain't smoking any.
Uh-huh. All right.
I thought it might help us ventilate because it's like 100 billion degrees.
It is very hot. As I said earlier, man, it's a hot one. Like 7 inches from the midday sun. I see. No, okay. And the words melt everyone. All right. Is that the best Santana? Under the moon, and it's the same sweet emotion that I hear from you. Is that the best Santana? It's definitely the best Rob Thomas song. Is it the best Santana song?
I don't know.
I'm partial to Europa. Europa's fun. I don't know. This isn't the Santana podcast. This is the Good Buddies Anime Podcast.
Hey,
We're
good
here.
buddies.
We're going to be talking about our new series we've done doing the first 4 episodes of Megalobox, which we're still not sure if it's spaced or not.
Yeah, I think there is a space. I think
in the logo there appears to be a space.
I feel like I believe the logo more than anything.
Verve puts it all caps, no space.
Yeah, they make it very confusing.
Whatever, man. It's weird. Anyway, we're here to talk about that. But first, hey, Roger.
Yeah, man.
What have you been watching?
My regulars. Oh, man. Dude, what did you think about that new...
That shit was bonkers. The MHA?
Yeah.
Holy moly. New My Hero Academia was fucking nuts.
Oh, man.
We're going to have to do
it was so All Might heavy, too.
It was good shit. We're definitely going to
I loved it, dude. I freaking loved it.
We pushed this through first week of January, or as soon as we have a free spot between series, we're gonna have to do like a best of 2018. Like, what was the best fight scene? What was the best opener? Whatever.
Yeah, we do need to figure out some way to incorporate My Hero Academia into the show. I feel
for sure. I mean, we talk about it every episode at the beginning. With
I don't think we can, really, unless we do like some like entire season 1 review or whatever, and just.
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna like cover the whole thing, but we're definitely talking about it. It was fucking rad. If you're not on that train, y'all need to jump on because man, oh man, it's some cool stuff. Yeah. What else you got, man?
New Full Metal Panic was real good.
Okay.
The new Megalobox was real good. I'm still keeping current on that.
I'm making sure not to skip ahead since we're covering it now.
I posted a scene last night on the page.
It was fucking difficult not to skip ahead. This show's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then I'm still, I'm watching High School DxD.
God Almighty!
It's that booby show.
You and your M&A titties.
I mean, it's great. I love it.
This guy.
I fucking love it.
All right, man. I'm not knocking you.
But I think that's about all the anime I've really caught this week. I had to... Last Sunday was a wrestling pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. So I had a whole lot to build up into that, then do that live stream, and then all the
good stuff.
All the editing and stuff that followed for that to get the live stream up, and then get the... like me and Ryan, once we went over everything, get all that out there. So this week has been kind of hectic. I've usually caught an episode or 2 or something, and then I'm off to bed.
Yeah, I got you.
But next week, well, I guess this week going forward, I'm planning on hitting it hard, dude. Hitting it hard. Hitting them anime streets hard.
This guy.
What you been watching, buddy? Anything?
Same thing. Mostly my regulars. There's a couple series I'm looking forward to getting
watch the new Fooly Cooly, too.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that shit was
Didn't miss that.
Pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'm liking it. I'm really liking it so far. I gotta tell you, man, I'm loving the soundtrack for this one. I mean, I love the soundtrack for the first one, obviously, but damn, there's some good stuff in here.
Yeah. Well, we're obviously gonna talk about that one and probably do it next.
Yeah.
My only problem with it that I have so far with the soundtrack is that they need to turn them songs up.
Well,
they need to turn it up.
I think they got a good mix going.
Because the first one really, it powers the music out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's scenes where like it's the whole focus, like that bit where you see like fucking Conti like spread his wings and start flying. Like that one was huge, but it was the only thing playing. There was no speech or anything.
Yeah.
This one they played what's easily my favorite song on the series so far. And I only know the name of it and everything because I keep getting like recommendations on my fucking YouTube for this song and that song from the show. But it's called "Thank You, My Twilight." It's fucking great. There's a bit where they're on the beach and it starts playing, and it was pretty great. I love that fucking song.
Love the show.
But again, people were talking, so they didn't turn it up all that loud. But yeah, it's good shit. Caught up on that. Watched the new MHA. Watched what I believe is the final episode of the Love Is Hard for Otaku series, which was pretty awesome. I'm really hoping they do some more. They had a nice little stinger on the end of it that like made it seem like maybe they'll do more. But from what I've read, there's like not a whole lot of material out there to go off, and they don't want to, they might not want to split too hard and like do their own like story thing on the anime. But I don't know, man. It was pretty sweet. Really adorable series. If we do like a best of or whatever for this year, that's probably going to be my bid for best opening song so far.
Okay.
Like nice. I love the opening for fucking My Hero Academia season 3, but goddamn that the song for this one is so good. Anyway, but that's what I've been up to. Not a whole hell of a lot, but I'm planning on checking out a few series and
hitting the anime streets hard.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit between my works and my video games. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, let's go into some Megalobox. Let's start out with the opening theme.
Dude.
It is called Bite by Leo Amai.
It's fine.
I really like the song.
I thought it was good.
I like when he's on the bike or whatever, and it's flashing between him and the dog.
Yeah,
right at the end or whatever. And it's,
you don't even. Yeah, that shit's rad, and you don't even get to see it until episode 2 because episode 1 doesn't even have the opener. But the shit's pretty fucking cool.
I didn't want to forget to talk about the opening song because I really like the end song a whole lot more. The ending song,
I know you won't shut up about it.
But I did want to go ahead and get that out of the way and be like, yes, I watch this song every single time. Never skip ahead.
I want to talk about the style of this show because you had told me like the way they did it, like they like blew it up and compressed it and whatnot.
I meant to pull up exactly how they did it. I didn't.
Yeah,
do that.
If you can find that, but
let's see.
The end result is like it's it's all digital art these days and CG and whatnot, and there's a lot of stuff in this like that's clearly like new art and CG and whatnot, but the way they treat it afterwards makes it look like this sweet old school style. I've seen a lot of articles comparing it to Cowboy Bebop and Trigun and whatnot, and saying it's like a new like spiritual successor to these things, and I'm inclined to agree. It looks amazing. It's got a really cool just attitude to the whole show. It's really neat. But yeah, the whole thing is just this massive I believe I called it a testosterone fueled fun ride. Yeah, because it's just a lot of dudes punching and it's a good ass time.
Now I don't want to get anybody like it. The punching kind of slows down, but the story is so good. There's a point where the story takes over. And my God, this anime is freaking good.
All right, man, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm trying to find that damn.
I will admit, as I told you, I'm a little bummed. There's like one whole female character, and she's kind of played as a villain in these first 4 episodes.
Yeah,
but I'm looking forward to see where it goes from there. But yeah, man, I'm digging it so far. Still looking for that thing, huh?
Yeah, let's see, Megalobox.
Man, don't stress about it too much.
Art style.
Let's talk about that.
If I can't find it, then I will have it for the next week. I meant to pull that up.
You want to talk about the ending theme that you love so much?
Oh yeah, Kakate Koyo.
Kakate Koyo. That shit's rad.
So and when
the fucking visuals are cool. It looks like a damn.
It looks like the neons the
these
whole
neon
time. There's like little
and shit.
spiders and lines and stuff.
Like
it looks like some sort of city bar or something like. Some city beer joint.
It looks fucking cool. Man. It's a sweet. Just sweet visuals
and
all
when
around,
the music
man.
kicks in, the vocalist comes in. There's like a desperation to the way the vocalist does.
Yeah, they're really straining it.
Yeah, where they're gasping for air, and it just, oh my God, dude, that song fucking rocks.
Does it rip?
It rips, dude. I listen to it quite a bit now. It rips and it
rocks.
I listen to it a lot. I got it on my phone, dude.
Got to see if that's on Spotify or something. Okay, chill. But yeah, there's a lot of good music in this one, man. Well, I say a lot of good music. There's opening, ending. There's like a couple songs they played during episodes, and then there's like a couple. One in particular they play at like the beginning of every episode where they give you like a still image that we were talking about earlier. That's just like seems like a almost random shot from the episode you're about to watch. Seems like the kind of thing they'd put on like when they're going to or from commercial. It reminds me a lot of like when you were watching Adult Swim late at night and you'd have like the bumps or whatever between episodes. Like they just show you like here's a clip or like just an image from the show and it would just then it goes to commercial or whatever. But it's good shit, man. But yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot so far. We gonna talk about it? Are you still looking on your computer?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. I mean, essentially what I can tell you right now is I'll find the exact
like how they did the visuals.
But it is meant to have it's downscaled. That's exactly what it is. So all the CG and stuff of it, everything is super polished, and then they downscale it. Mm-hmm. So it gives it more of a VHS quality.
Yeah, it gives it like a kind of fuzzy old school
it's like,
quality.
You can see the sketching and the lines and stuff like that. It breaks apart the lines some.
It looks really cool.
It's very, very cool. But whenever there are points where they leave like CG in or whatever, you catch small glimpse of it, especially in the fights or in the arenas and stuff. And it looks really good.
It does look really good. I'm really enjoying the visuals of this show.
But I'll figure out the full techniques and have it by the next episode or the final one. We'll talk about it at some point.
Yeah, man. Well, let's break it on down. We're on episode 1.
Break it down, bang, 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 bang.
That is how the song goes.
Yep, episode 1. Okay, so Brandon noticed this. I did catch this at the very end. It's when it tells you the title of the episode. You don't get it right at the beginning.
They also give you that like in the middle, like when there actually is like a like there would be a commercial break or whatever.
That's the one that says God, it says something. It says something similar each time, or does it give you the episode title?
I'm pretty sure it's the episode title. I'll have to watch it again. Shit, but I know like at the very end, it gives you like in the bottom right it says "Not Dead Yet," kind of like the "See You Space Cowboy" or whatever.
Yet, but yeah, the mid card I think has a piece like that. It just doesn't say "Not Dead Yet." But the actual episode title is at the very end. The first one is called Buy or Die, and then once we finish the episode, there's a little extra line after that.
There's a subtitle?
Yeah, subtitle. I'll give that at the end of the episode.
All right. Well, first one, episode 1, Buy or Die, you said?
Buy or Die.
Buy or Die. So this one starts, you just see this dude, we don't know any names yet. Fuck, doesn't even have a name. But we see this dude flying through the desert on his motorcycle, and there's a voiceover after all these opening credits, and the little Champion Joe 50th memorial thing it shows. Which
from Ashita no Joe.
Let's talk about that real quick. I didn't realize this was we were talking about it. It's kind of a not a like remake or whatever, but kind of like an alternate version of this older series, which is about a boxer named Joe.
Yeah, Ashita no Joe.
Champion Joe, as it is also like translated into, but Ashita no Joe. Pretty cool stuff. I didn't know that. But this dude's flying through the desert on his motorcycle, and there's a voiceover, and he says, to stay down or fight back, which am I doing now? And he's just going, man. And there's a bit, you see these interstitial shots of him like ride his motorcycle, and then shots of him just getting whooped on in the ring, because obviously he's the boxer. And then he takes like a flying jump off of what appears to be a relatively small cliff. I say small cliff because he fucking survives, obviously. But you see him fly off this little cliff, and he just says, I haven't done either yet, to stay down or fight back. But from there, we get a completely different scene. We are in the administrative district, and there is a woman who we later find out is, I believe her name is Yukiko.
Yukiko. Yeah, Yukiko.
Yukiko, that's it.
Yeah.
But later we find out her name's Yukiko. But right now she's just some lady who obviously is tied to the Shirato group, and she is announcing Megalonia, which is going to be this big fat tournament. I say big fat tournament. It's going to be the biggest tournament ever, but there's only 4 people getting in.
Yep.
So the spectacle of it will be huge. She's announcing Megalonia, which is a huge tournament. It's going to show true Megaloboxing, she says, and only 4 competitors will make the grade. Meanwhile, Bike Dude, the guy who was on the motorcycle, is waiting while a mechanic is fixing up his stuff. Not his bike, notably, just some kind of. We find out later it's his gear. This like these metal bits that are obviously shaped to go around his arms and back that are on this table. But he's watching this on the TV, and while that's getting fixed, the woman on the TV continues that and says the tournament is open to all citizens, and she begins to introduce the first competitor, he who embodies true megalo boxing. She says, "The King of Kings," and he cuts off the TV. I ain't got time for this bullshit.
The King of Kings?
That's what he called him.
Triple H?
Nah, man. Yuri. But he cuts off the TV. Mechanic asks him if he's going to enter, and he says, "Hey, it's citizen only." Did you miss that part? And next scene, we cut to this dude with an eye patch. We later find out is Nanbu. But this dude with an eye patch at these dog races, he's screaming at the dogs. He's wanting to win. He loses, and he leaves pissed off. Cutting back to the mechanic, he gives Junk Dog, who we find out is his name, or his ring name anyway. Yeah. He doesn't have a proper name. Junk Dog. JD, it says on his bag that he carries his gear in. Gives him his gear, and he says, they talk about shoring up, the debt for fixing it up, and he says he made a lot of money on that last match, so it's all good. And then Junk Dog tells him, "Yeah, we'll bet on me winning this time." And then we see him go to what I think is a pretty sweet name for kind of shady establishment, the Drunk Monk.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. Dog walks in, and these two big guys greet him, and they're like, "Hey, getting ready to lose?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm winning tonight." And they're like, "Oh, did he not tell you?" And he's like, "What?" He's all pissed off. He walks in, finds that eye patch guy sitting at the bar getting wasted, getting at least buzzed, and that guy calls him partner and explains that he's going to be taking another fall, we find out. And Junk Dog grabs him, grabs Nanbu is his name. He grabs him and he says, "Hey, you promised me that was over." And Nanbu tells him, "Well, call it a sudden change of circumstances or something like that." He says, "You're too strong. No one wants one-sided fights." And he hands him an earpiece and he walks off. So we then get a brief introduction to the ring. We see these dudes fighting, and there's a voiceover. Nanbu saying, "When you're broke, you bet on dogs, but if you've got even a little bit, you bet on people." And we see these dudes just wailing on each other. One guy goes down hard, and there's a fair amount of blood in this show. So we get to our first proper fight with Junk Dog here, and it's versus, God, these names, Geto Hachiya. Nanbu tells him that he's going to fall in round 3. He's talking to him through that earpiece he gave him. And Hachiya starts out going in hard, just pushing this guy against the rope, pushing our boy Junk Dog against the ropes, just wailing on him. And Pops, Nanbu tells Dog to hit back, go harder, go at it. So he does. And he just starts firing back, hitting this dude. He gets him off of him, and he goes for the craziest freaking uppercut. I mean, his fucking fist is skimming the ring. He's coming from so low. It's like a fucking Little Mac up smash in fucking Smash Bros. No. He's going way in, and then he just shing and freezes right before he hits him because the bell rings. The control this boy has. He stops just short of knocking this dude straight to hell. And man, oh man, and he goes back to the freaking to his corner, and the crowd's going nuts. Everybody's saying, "Hey, put all my money on the little guy. Put it on Junk Dog. Screw this guy. Put it on Junk Dog," which is exactly what they wanted. Obviously, that's how you get the money when you take a fall. And fucking Junk Dog is pretty upset. Like, he says to Nanbu as he's sitting in the corner, he's like, I could have knocked him out round 1. Like, he could have done this. Round 1 knockout could have happened, but no, I got to do this shit. So they get back to round 2. They're fighting at it, and they go on. This slimy promoter guy, we find out is named Mr. Damoto, comes over, and he's talking to Nanbu, and he tells him, "Hey, the kid's good. He could make it to Megalonia if y'all tried." And Nanbu basically tells him no way. He says, "Guys like us are frauds. We know our place." Meanwhile, Junk Dog's hearing all this through his earpiece while he's like guarding against the ropes again because this guy's backing him up, which is fucked up. Just a fucked up thing to say. But he basically tells him there's no way it's going to happen. We know our place. Dog hears everything through the earpiece. Round 3, Dog finally takes his fall, and he lies there bloody thinking, "Man, why do I even get my hopes up?" And we then cut to Nanbu afterwards getting his cut. And I think it's Damoto tells him again that like the kid could be good, and he says something like, where else is he gonna go? So then we see Dog riding his bike, like, just got to get out of town, man. Just got to hit the road and blow off some steam. It's storming real hard. He's riding his bike on a stormy night, and he heads into the city. They do that sweet, like, after trail thing with the headlights. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they did it in Akira, too. It's good
like
shit.
The afterglow or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like the fucking tail light, just, you see the stream of it. Really sweet shit. But he's driving into the city. He's like, whatever, I'm just going to go, like, get out for a minute. Meanwhile, we see that lady from Megalonia, the Megalonia announcement, standing on this highway that appears to be under construction, overlooking this huge stadium that's being constructed. She's talking to some guy who's explaining blah, 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 this and that about construction, and then he gets into his car and fucks off while she stands there with this other guy, this very tall, white-haired, very, like, serious-looking dude, who we find out is Yuri. And they talk for a second. Her and Yuri talk, and she tells him, she's talking about Megalonia, and she says, in order for this to be a success, you have to be the last man standing. You have to win. And he agrees, and he doesn't call her by name. He just calls her owner. Obviously, she's like running the company, I would guess.
Yeah, she is.
So we then, as she starts to walk back to her car, we hear that motorcycle, and we get a quick shot of the tires of it, like on the road. It becomes pretty obvious that he's heading that way, and he looks up, and like it's a great shot where like it zooms in on her face because he almost fucking slams her. That would have been it, but he swerves, he slides, he falls off his bike and just shoots past her, narrowly avoiding this woman. And it's pretty rough stuff. He's like laying there, like, you know, in pain, obviously. Yuri walks over to her, and as he looks at like to check on her, and she says, no, I'm fine. And he looks and he sees Junk Dog's gear that's spilled out of his bag laying there, and she gets up and goes to check on him. She says that she is Yukiko Shirato, same last name of the company. So, and she tells him that to call a number on this card. She hands him a card and or tries to hand it to him, and that he'll be reimbursed. And he refuses. He gets up, and she like tries again. She's like, no, here, just take, and he just slaps it out of her hand, like doesn't even look at her, like, get the hell away from me. And then she's like, okay, fine. And she turns to leave, and obviously Junk Dog recognizes her and has recognized Yuri too. And as she starts walking away, he's standing there facing away from him, and he's like, you know what, fuck this. And he turns around and he says, you call that real megaloboxing? He says it's all bullshit. Whatever you think Megalonia is, it's just a brawl. And Yuri just fucking walks up to him and tells him to take it back. And he says, oh, well, why don't you teach me then? And Yuri tells him, I love the fucking lines with these guys. He says, as if a stray dog would understand. Yeah. And they both square up, right?
Yeah, they're like really good counters to each other.
And Junk Dog actually says, oh, come on, I'm ready. I'm feeling like I'm ready to take on anyone, even you. And they both like fucking square up. These are just fucking night and day, these guys. And I love this because time just goddamn freezes. You see the water droplets hanging in the air as they're like facing off. And fucking dog is standing there, and he feels it. And like we see a shot of like that desert as he's flying through it, like he's feeling the rush. And like it zooms in on his face, and he's just like, oh yeah, and he starts smiling. Oh yeah.
That's a ticket right
That's
there.
that shit. And he looks at Yuri. Yuri's smiling too. Like they're about to have some fucking fun. It's gonna be some good shit. And just as Yuri's about to move in, owner calls him back. And he puts his hands down and gets out of his little fighting stance and like just turns and walks back to her. And Dog says, oh wow, she's got you well trained, huh? Who's the dog now? Which was pretty great. And then they leave, and that's it. Next scene is the next day. Dog is getting his bike repaired again by Mr. Abu Hadi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's the name on the sign. And he tells him a story about how his Dog apologizes because he told him to bet on him winning, and obviously he didn't win, so he lost that money. And he says he's real sorry about that. And the guy tells him, you know, my wife always said I was too trusting. That's why I'm always going to stay poor. And she ended up running off a while ago. She left him. And he says, but I want to have faith. And if I believe in my faith, then living like that ain't so bad. Is basically what he says, which is cool stuff. Nice little saying that comes back later, actually. But back at the ring, he's getting ready for another fight. Nanbu's going over a strategy with Dog. Opponent hasn't showed up yet. He's pissed off. Nanbu's pissed off. And someone with a very striking silhouette and a hoodie over his head shows up. And he steps up and gets into the ring. And the ref tries to stop him. He's like, wait a minute, what are you doing here? And it's Yuri.
Yeah.
And Dog feels it when he starts walking up.
He hunted him down.
He found his ass.
Yeah.
And Yuri takes this fucking hoodie off, and he's goddamn ripped. He's got that Dorito body. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like big on the top and little on the bottom. He's got that fucking Dorito body. That's what you call it. Just imagine Captain America. He's got that Dorito body. He's got that tight waist and those giant shoulders. He's got that Dorito body. But my dude is huge. And this he looks like goddamn Jax from Mortal Kombat with these arms. Because we've seen these gears. And these gears, let's talk about these fucking gears they wear. Because Megaloboxing is essentially boxing. 3-minute rounds, so many rounds, etc., etc. But you've got these fucking rock'em sock'em like...
Yeah. It's rock and sock and robots with real people.
You got these fucking arm pieces that go up to your gloves and then down your arm, and they connect on your back, basically. That's the basic format of it. And they had to switch out parts and whatnot. They repair them and all this. But they're basically designed to make you punch as hard as you can so you can really beat the shit out of each other. But that's basically the extent of it. Faster, stronger, etc., etc. He's still wearing gloves. Yuri, however, his shit is like this apparently integrated model that we hear.
Yeah, it's just like Jax from Mortal Kombat.
It's literally Jax. Like he has these, it's like, it looks like it's just his skin but silver. And then he's got the boxing gloves on. Like, and it connects on his back, and there's this rad like little pod thing on his back where they connect that like like sticks down, and it's all really ridiculous, crazy looking. It's all silver and chromy, just like his hair. His gloves are purple, just like his eyes. My dude's very handsome, but he's about to get in some shit. And man, oh man, he's got that special sleek integrated gear. And Dog looks at him and says, "Oh, your owner isn't with you tonight?" Yeah, and Yuri just responds, "Yeah, sorry, there's no one to stop me this time." And Pops tries to stop it. He's like, dude, you're gonna die. You need to he's the fucking champion. There's no way you can beat this guy. You're going to die.
Yeah, he comes in the room like John Cena, the champ is here.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And fucking Dog just hits Nambu out of the ring. His partner, Pops, he just knocks him out of the ring. And he says, call it a sudden change in circumstances. Which I like very much, bringing his own words against him. And then he says, I want to believe that my faith in myself is real, just like the mechanic told him. And Yuri looks at him as they start to square up. He says, "Why don't you tell me your name? You wouldn't want your ring name on your tombstone." And Dog just smirks at him and says, "Oh, they don't make tombstones for stray dogs." And that's episode 1. That's a fucking good ass episode.
Yeah, there was tons. This show is freaking jam packed. Like, there's not a missable moment in the entire freaking show. They don't waste a frame, man. It's good shit. They do not waste a frame. Okay, and then the end title there said, "Don't let the simmering fire die. It'll light the way in the dark."
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Next episode. Ooh. Episode 2.
Episode 2. The man only dies once.
This is a thing with these, is every single episode is like dies or death or something in there. And it's always underlined in the titles too, which is pretty neat. Mm-hmm. These first 4 anyway. I don't know about the rest of them. Haven't watched them yet. But episode 2, they start. Is right where we left off. We see that same little scene with him asked about what he wants on his tombstone. Get used to this,
because you get right before the fight. They get you on that fight, and they cut your ass off.
Oh, they give you them blue balls, baby.
Yeah, and now thankfully, a lot of you guys, especially if y'all are just tuning in and watching the show for the podcast or anything like that, you're watching for the first time, there's a good, it'll finish next week. So
we should mention, we tried to time it out so that we would have our last episode right after the last episode.
I missed math.
And my boy's not great with numbers.
Yeah. I think I know where I went wrong, but I won't get into that. So it ends. The series ends next week, Thursday.
Next week we'll be covering the next 5 episodes. After that, the final 4.
So you'll have a week to set in that final episode.
You have a week to just really let it marinate, man.
Yeah.
Before we come in here and just tell you what happened after you already saw it. But yeah, it's good shit.
You're gonna want to marinate.
It's gonna be some good shit, I'm sure. But yeah, they start fighting, and Junk Dog is in there throwing these punches, and Yuri is just ducking everything, just bobbing and weaving like it ain't nothing. And Yuri throws a single jab, and it stops Dog dead in his fucking tracks. And everyone freezes for a second, and Nanbu from the corner is just like, holy shit, what a jab. If it had connected clean, that would have been it. And Yuri or Junk Dog, like he's got just like that thin cut on his cheek, and it starts bleeding, and he just wipes it away. He's like, hot damn, all right. And Yuri tells him, I wrote down Yuri pulls a Duragon, which isn't gonna make any sense unless you played the bouncer, but there's a bad guy in there who the first time you fight him, he fights you with one hand.
Yep.
Yuri tells him
boy, wasn't that a great game?
It wasn't. I
feel like it's everybody's first game that they don't want to talk about.
It was my first on the PlayStation 2, and you know what? I didn't love it.
I have it over there. It's not that bad of a game.
I've still got it. I mean, look, we can talk about that later, but I've got problems with it.
But I got your reference, dude.
He pulls a Duragon C. Mikado was that fucker's name, and I can't believe I still remember it. Anyway, he tells him he's just going to fight with one hand, just his left hand. That's all he'll need for this one. And Junk Dog tells him, oh, such a generous champion. And they start going at it. And Yuri is just following this dude around the room, just punch, just jabbing with that one hand. And he's only using that one hand, and he's still got Dog backing up, man, with that one hand. And he finally gets a solid hit, and Dog just like fucking... I mean, he gets a couple hits in, and then he goes in again at Dog and fucking knocks his hand away. And he nearly connects. He goes for this uppercut, and Yuri just manages to... His hand just got knocked in the air. He just brings that fucker down hammer style and almost destroys this boy. He fucking gets him good. And he goes down. And Pops is at the side begging Dog to stay down, but he won't. He doesn't fucking stay down. He gets back up at about like probably a 7 or 8 count. And and Pops is telling him, Nambu is telling him, look, you're gonna die. You gotta stay down. You're going to die. And he says, hey, but dying doesn't bother me when I'm having this much fun. And then the intro.
Yeah. Then we get that kick-ass intro.
So we come back. They're still going at it. It's about 1 minute and 10 left on the clock. So what is that? 2 minutes and 50 seconds in if it's a 3-minute round. Dog manages to duck a punch and nearly knocks Yuri's ass out. He ducks one, goes in, and you see Yuri is fucking shocked. He sees this fist come. He's like, what the fuck? And he almost goes down. But Yuri throws up his right hand he said he wouldn't use and stopped it.
Yep.
And Dog tells him, you know, if you'd kept your word, you'd be out right now. And he's like, Yuri is clearly shocked. Like, his eyes are huge. He's like, oh shit. All right, fine. And Dog tells him you can stop showing off right now. And Yuri says, fine, I'll grant that request. It's about 50 seconds left in the round, 2 minutes, 10 seconds in, and they square off again, and they're just kind of standing there. And Nanbu's like, oh, God, don't. And Dog starts moving into him. And he sees they're reading each other's moves here. It's a very interesting scene because Dog's going in, and Dog like lifts his hands to kind of expose his midsection. He's keeping them up, like way up over, like near his eyes. And he sees Yuri's hands go down, and he's like, oh, I see. So he thinks Yuri's going to go in for the low to hit him in the midsection. And he sees what he's doing. So Dog, reading this, tries to pull over to the side and goes in for this fucking punch with his left. And fucking Yuri just, nope, he's too fast. He just, bam, quick hook with his right hand, connects with this dude's face. He is all the way down with 29 seconds left on the clock. Almost said left on the cock. Left on the clock.
29 seconds left on the cock, dude.
29 seconds on that cock, bro. 29 seconds left on the clock.
29 seconds longer than I thought it would be.
The worst. But Dog goes down, and he does not get back up. Not until Yuri's already out of the ring. And fucking Nanbu is yelling at him, stay down, you'll die. And Dog's like, yeah, I'm not getting up, man. Because he isn't. He is not
He
getting
can't
up.
get up.
He just
Not in
can't.
10
He is
seconds he can't.
donezo. But by the time he does get up, Yuri's already out of the ring and starting to walk out. And when Dog gets up as he's leaving the place, and he stands up. He condemns Yuri's real megaloboxing. He says, "That's your real megaloboxing. It couldn't even kill a stray dog." And he says, "Come on, get back in here. I'm not done yet. Let's keep going." And Namu's like, "Are you insane? You lost. You almost died." And Yuri's not getting back in the ring. He refuses. He says, "This isn't my ring." And Dog makes a good point. "Oh, now that bothers you?" And Yuri says, "Listen, you want to fight me, you work your way up to me. Fight your way up to me and my ring." And then he keeps walking out, and Dog's yelling at him to come back, and Yuri leaves. And as he leaves, they do a pretty neat trick where, like, as he's walking out, like, the doorway he's walking toward is just all bright light. So, like, the camera kind of turns and you see him, like, just getting enveloped by this light until there's, like, nothing left. You see a silhouette. This is a weird thing, but it looks exactly like the goddamn trailer for X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
There's a bit where, like, I think it's Mystique is walking out of the Cerebro chamber and you just see, like, her walking with the light behind her. Mm-hmm. It looks exactly like that, which I thought was weird. It's even at the weird angle like that. But whatever. That's a weird reference for nobody, but shit. I just saw that and I was like, what the hell? Roger just yawning at me. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. All right. We'll continue. But
that movie sucked ass, by the way.
I didn't care for it. Dog is back on his bike riding through the desert again, and as he's riding, he has a quick memory of Yuri when they were fighting, and he fucking wipes out. He goes down, but when he gets back up, he's got this newfound confidence, and he's like doing his quick little jab combinations, whatnot, getting his fucking fists out, and he says, "I can't go back to that." He's done taking falls. He wants to fight for real.
Yeah.
And then we get a shot of Yuri at his home. He's got a little puppy dog. He lets his little puppy dog out.
Yeah, it's like a little.
And he steps out. Little baby husky. And he steps out in the backyard, I guess, for a second. And the owner shows up, and she chides him. She says, "You went to see that man, didn't you?" And he says, "Yes." And she says, "You know you're not to enter the ring without my permission." And he's like, "You're right. Okay." And she walks over and she
didn't tell her that he almost got his sorry ass beat.
Almost got knocked the fuck out trying to show off, trying to showboat with his one hand. And she walks over to him. She does kind of a sexy kind of like puts her hand on his arm. The muscles. And she says, "Your body is the future of this company." And
his body is a wonderland.
God damn it. Did we have to make the John Mayer references, dog?
I mean... You not a fan?
Your body is the wonder. You know, I almost got into a fucking fight with some Baylor kids because one of them was looking at a magazine. It was like, this is when I worked at Blockbuster. This fucker goes over to the magazine rack, picks up like a Rolling Stone or whatever. It was one of those end of the year like top 100 albums of the past decade or some shit. And he's flipping through it, and every page he's like, ugh, seriously? Ugh. And he's like, "Look at this bullshit. Number one was Kid A by fucking Radiohead or whatever."
Yeah.
And he's like pissed off. He's like, "John Mayer, like every one of his albums is better than that." And I'm just like, I'm sitting here checking out his friend, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not a big Mayer fan. And this fucking kid, like all three of them wearing the fucking cargo shorts, the different color pastel polos, and the fucking sandals. I swear to Christ. And their backwards hats, looking like real, just goofball Baylor kids.
Yeah, they had the
these fucking college
curling
kids
out of the hat.
This is the worst, man. And this fucking kid puts that magazine down and says, "What was that?" And I was like, John Mayer kind of sucks, I think. And he's like, "You want to step outside?" I'm like, "Are you really about to fight me over John Mayer? Are you really about to fight me over fucking John Mayer?"
He's one of those guys, dude.
And his fucking friends walk him out. I'm like, for real? Over John Mayer?
Yeah, he's one of those guys, dude, that invite you over to have a GameCube party. God.
I actually saw a podcast. I watched a podcast that he was on, and he honestly seems like a relatively cool dude. But
he's a good musician.
He writes
bubblegum ass music for money.
It's so fucking douchey.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very talented musician. He plays the fuck out of a guitar.
Yeah,
anyway,
You know, his heart isn't in that fucking music. Everybody fucking knows it.
I wouldn't.
Except for that douchebag.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't think so,
I
dude.
feel like maybe he
That's
believes
money
in what
music.
I think
Like,
he's.
that's what he does.
I think he believes in what he's putting out. This is not the John Mayer fan cast. All right.
Okay, fine. We will refrain from talking about John Mayer.
Anyway.
We need to start a list for like the end of the year or whatever of all the things that this podcast is not.
No, we're gonna do a best of, and like there'll be a whole section, a full 10 minutes of me saying this is not the. I think my favorite one we've done is this is not the Steven Seagal fan cast.
Yeah,
because we were talking about him for some reason. Holy shit. Anyway,
good times on the Good Buddies.
Yeah. She says your body's the future of this company, and
his body is a wonderland.
His body is a wonderland. All right. Next scene is a pretty great one where we get this great song. It starts with you seeing this cassette tape labeled "Great Track Number 1," and starts playing. And there's this kid sitting on top of a building, like listening to this music. Like he's got the headphones on. The kid has headphones. We don't know if it's a boy or girl. Anyway, but it plays out like one of those fucking, like I said before, it plays out like one of those late night bumps on Adult Swim. Like this is the clip that like would be the commercial for when Adult Swim starts airing this. Like it would just be this scene. Like it's all these different shots of the slums of this city. There's like a kid getting fed. There's like dudes like, you know, arguing or whatever in the street. There's like dogs and shit. It's a real rundown area, but you know, the people live here and they're doing okay as they can. And then we see fucking Junk Dog riding his bike into this area. It's a cool ass scene, it's a cool ass song. Like it's a good time. But it's very neat.
It is
Dog
in fact
rolls
a great
in.
track number 1.
It is a great track number 1. Dog, as he's rolling in, he sees this huge digital billboard which says, "It's a wonderful district life, not for your average Joe." And then he gets to the venue, the drunk monk, and Nambu's explaining to him that he's gonna fall in the middle of round 5. You're gonna let the guy get in a lucky punch. You're gonna go down. That's how this one's working out. And Dog says, "Hey, can I ask you a favor?" And Nambu says, "Of course, you know, after your scrap with Yuri, I'm not going to be in your debt much longer." And he shows Nambu a Megalonia flyer. And he says, "I want to be entered into this. I want in. I don't want to keep throwing fights. I want into Megalonia. I want to get into his ring." And Nambu gets pretty pissed off. He says, "Look at you talking big. You get into one little scrap with this guy and you think you can get into his ring." He says, "Look, you got to be a citizen to get in this thing. Do you have a citizen's ID?" I didn't think so. Plus, only the top 4 can get in. There's no way you'll be able to get into the top 4 within 3 months. It's not happening. Just forget it. Look, you know what we're about. You know what we do. And he gives him the earpiece. And he says to get ready. And we get another fight. This time versus Rainy Kubota. These fucking names. I love them. Nambu is instructing him. He's talking into his earpiece saying, blah, 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 do this, do that. And he's like, "Hey, are you listening?" And he looks up. Dude does not have his earpiece in. Junk Dog is not answering. And the fight starts. Dog walks up, drops this fucking nerd in one hit. Just lets him fall like the sack of potatoes he is. And then he just turns around and stares down Nambu like, "Do something about it, Pops." And the dude does not get up. That's the match. Meanwhile, we see Nambu there looking at this in disbelief, and then he gets a tap on the shoulder from Mr. Demoto, the fucking slimy promoter guy. And he taps him on the shoulder and then points behind him at these 2 scary-looking dudes next to the door. It's like, oh, we need to have a talk, obviously. So, next scene, we're at a fancy restaurant. Dog's waiting at a table outside. There's no one there, obviously. The place is closed. Nambu is in the kitchen with what we assume is some kind of mob boss. Mm-hmm. He's a very well-dressed man, slick black hair. He's got a big gold pocket watch and a whole slew of dragon sleeve tattoos going up one arm. And he's cooking up a little something. And this dude, he looks fucking cool.
He does look cool.
Meanwhile, Nambu's sitting there sweating bullets and shitting bricks, listening to someone in the next room getting the shit kicked out of him. There's just screaming coming from the other room. Obviously, you get the idea very quickly that obviously Nambu's in some shit, and this is the guy he owes shit to.
He's dealing with some Yakuza stuff or something like that.
It's a bad time. So Nambu falls to the ground, nose on the fucking tiles, and is apologizing to Mr. Fujimaki, is what his name is. And Fujimaki looks at him. He says, "Do you know what fondue gibir is, or however you pronounce that?" It's this soup he's making. He gives a brief explanation for it, which is kind of threatening. He says, you hunt wild game, you cook the soup. If you cook the soup long enough, the stock, you make stock from it. You can get 500 grams of bone, 500 grams of stew or whatever. Nothing's wasted. Then he looks at Nambu and he says, "How much do you weigh? Because ain't nothing gonna be wasted here, except you." It's pretty threatening. And Nanbu, sits back down at the table, and as he explains all this, Nanbu fucking, first, he walks over and he says, "Here, try this." And he has Nanbu drink this soup. He pours some into the thing, and Nanbu just picks up the fucking plate, the bowl, and just, drinks it. It's, dribbling down his fucking cheek and shit. And then he puts the plate down, and then he bows so hard and so fast, he just slams his fucking head into this metal table. And begs for a chance to pay him back. And Fujimaki says, "Okay, you can pay me back. But we need to shore up this little incident first." He tosses him a knife and says, "Why don't you cut out your other eye? He's only got one now. And then we'll call that even." And Nambu asks, "Well, what about my partner?" And he says, "Oh, really? You're trying to throw the kid at us? Oh, don't worry about him. We're going to be making money off him until he's dead in my ring." And when he says "in my ring," Nambu remembers what Junk Dog was talking to him about. And he says, "You know what? No, fuck this." He reaches in his back pocket, slams that flyer on the table, and says, "I'll pay you back in full once he wins this." And then we cut to outside. It's Dog and Nanbu standing next to on a bridge or something, looking over this water, and Dog asked, "Well, what happened? I mean, are we off the hook or what?" And Nanbu has both his eyes, thank God, and tells him...
His one eye.
Well, he has his one eye. You're right. He has his one eye. He didn't lose the other eye. He has his one eye. He didn't grow another eye. Thank you for correcting me. But Nambu tells him, "Well, no. I mean, here's the point. We got to win Megalonia. And this is going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but we're going to do..." And Dog just cuts him off. He's like, "We just got to win, right? I'm not losing again. Not until I get my hands on Yuri." And then we get to this scene with a lot of them in Fujimaki's little hideout. He's got his computer dude reprogramming an ID that apparently they fucking scrubbed this other guy and they got his ID, so they're going to reprogram it for Joe because you got to have a citizen's ID to get into this thing. Well, he's not Joe yet, but he's still Junk Dog. But he's reprogramming it, and we see what happened in that kitchen. Fujimaki, after he explains this, after Nanbu says, "No, we're going to win this thing and I'll pay you back," he says, "Oh, what can you frauds do?" And he says, "I've got a plan, and I'm going to show you what us frauds can do." And he takes that fucking knife. I got to point this out, because Nanbu takes that goddamn knife that Fujimaki told him to cut his eye out with, and he stabs it through the flyer, through the table, pinning it to the table. This is a metal table. How fucking strong is this dude?
Yeah.
He just stabbed a knife through a metal table. Whatever. Not the point. But my dude has a plan. Don't know if it's a good plan, but he's got it. Back with the computer boy, Dog has to pick out a name, and he thinks for a second. Well, the computer guy says, "All right, all that's left is the name." And he looks at Fujimaki, and Fujimaki looks at Nambu, and Nambu says, "Well, it's his fucking ID. Let him pick the name." And he sits there for a second, and I would think, remembering that sign, "Not for your average Joe," he says, "Joe." And then Nambu's like, Joe, huh?" And they all just take a second going, Joe, yeah, Joe. It's got a nice ring to it, which is, I thought, a fun scene. The music comes in it's like a dun, 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 like oh shit, this is where it starts. It's pretty sweet. But that's how he gets his name. And then the last thing we see before the credits is Joe pulls off that fucking bandage that was over his cheek from where Yuri had knocked him the fuck out, and there's a big ass scar, a vaguely J-shaped scar left on his cheek. Pretty cool stuff. And that's episode 2 on to... Oh wait, what's the little thingy at the end?
The little thing on the end says, "No man has ever died twice," mumbled the gambler.
Nice.
The episode was called "The Man Only Dies Once." Then it reads, "No man has ever died twice," mumbled the gambler.
Nice.
That was cool. I like that one.
Get some little lines.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Gear is dead.
Shit, dude. All right, episode 3 starts with Nambu at the International Megalobox Association, and he walks in. He's got a little suit on. He's looking as good as he possibly can, I guess. This little dude, this slummy kind of guy, and he gets chased by a Roomba, which I thought was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And he also gets recognized by some of the other agents in here. They turn and they say, "Well, if it isn't Nambu." And he's like, he talks to him for a sec. He's like, I can't really talk. Got a new guy found. He's going to be a real Spitfire. Yeah, all right. I got to go register him. Bye. And he goes and he registers Joe with that forged ID. And Joe is starting. We see a few like rankings and you see this. It just drops to the bottom. He's starting at number 257. But I would like to talk, if I could, for a second about the goddamn names on this fucking...
Yes, Brandon's been waiting this whole time.
I took some pictures.
He took some photos.
Guys, these names are amazing. We only see, like, you can only... If you pause it, the best I could do is seeing number 221 down to the bottom of 257, which is where Joe is. But some of these names... Here's a few of my favorites. Rabbit Ukita. Guinea Pigs Horino, who is part of Team 8. Also on Team 8... Giraffe Kato. Just below him at 227, Mongoose Yoimura. Like this shit's amazing. You also got Sheep Sato and Finnick Scott, who's on Team E-Face. Oh, there's also Mole Hopkins. Who can forget Mole Hopkins?
Can't forget him.
But holy shit, dude, these names are amazing. Also on Team E-Face with our good buddy Finnick Scott. Down toward the bottom, you've got Reindeer Marquez, which might be my favorite. Reindeer Marquez. Just above Squirrel Osso.
They really went all out on the animal names, huh?
These names are amazing. It reminds me a lot of like playing fucking...
Are there any that aren't related to an animal?
You know what? I think they're all animals. Some of them are a little weird. Like they all like. There's a sea otter Ruiz, Llama Yoshida, boar, nutria. I don't know what that is. That's probably some kind of animal. Nutria.
Yeah.
I don't know. Badger, cow, trout. This is good stuff. Meerkat Watanabe. Hell yeah. Zebra Ito. It's a nutria, bro. It's either an animal or a flower.
A large semi-aquatic beaver-like rodent. Native to South America.
Hell yeah, Nutria Iwahara. Are you kidding me? That sounds rad.
Oh,
He's
man.
like, it's like a weird capybara.
I'm pretty sure that you've seen him. Yeah, it's one of those things. They have super, super duper orange teeth.
Oh, yeah.
They're like beavers, but their teeth are even more orange.
Wild, dude.
Yeah. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, dude. Looks like he got a pecan for some teeth.
Hell yeah. He looks like a slightly modified capybara.
You ever seen the cover art to the third Halloween movie? It's got that little pumpkin mask. It looks like that's in his mouth.
Jesus Christ, dude. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll stop capping.
There's a few of the names.
Now.
I'm not gonna lie. There's another scene where you see some of these rankings. I got some names from that one too, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, starting at the very bottom, ranked 257 out of 257, and Nanbu kind of sized to starting at the bottom. It's not like you had to remind me. And on the news, we then see rank 2 fighter Spider Pepe Iglesias.
Yeah.
These fucking names.
Spider Pee-Pee, man.
Spider Pepe. It's not Pee-Pee. It's Pepe.
I think it's Pee-Pee,
No,
dude.
it's Pepe. They say Pepe. You son of a bitch. Yuri is, of course, ranked number 1. This guy, Spider Pepe Iglesias, is number 2. And we get to see in this scene Yuri training with some kind of crazy high-tech equipment. It reminds me a lot of, if you've ever... I know they used to have this one at one of the arcades at the mall before that arcade shut down. It was one of those... It was like a Fist of the North Star game where the little panels would pop out and you had to punch them back in.
Yeah, you had to do the 1,000 crack fist on it?
Yeah, it looks like that shit that Yuri's training on, except it's like got these crazy huge arms that are like flinging these fucking things all around him, and he just like going everywhere on it. He's got this crazy mask thing that's apparently controlling his breathing, I would guess. And he's going at it, he's going in, and he's doing really good. I forget the exact record he gives him, but it was like 82 hits, 71% or some bullshit like that. It's like good shit. Really good scores or whatever. But then he stops, he turns it off, and he turns to walk away from it, and then he remembers Joe telling him, what, that's your real Megaloboxing? And he stops, and obviously that got to him because he turns right the fuck around and goes back to his training thing. He's pushing himself. Joe is fucking pushing this guy without even actually seeing him. Like one fucking time twice they interacted, and it got to him clearly. But then we see Nanbu meeting with Mr. Fujimaki again, having a nice little beer, dropping a shot in a beer, some kind of flaming Dr. Pepper situation. But they talk about Joe. They talk about Junk Dog. They talk about Joe, and Fujimaki tells him, "Hey, he's your dog. You need to make sure he's obedient." And Nanbu just tells him, "Hey, we understand what's at stake here. Don't worry." And he pounds this drink. And then Joe and Nanbu, we get a shot of them talking strategy. They're living in this little boat, like on the river. And Nanbu tells him, "Listen, don't even think about Yuri right now. You got 3 months to rise through the ranks, so this is going to be grueling. You got 5 matches is the best we can do. 5 matches, 5 wins." Yeah, and they also talk about Yuri's gear for a bit as they're driving here. Yuri's got this custom gear, and there's no lag from it. He's bigger, stronger, and faster too. He's the first member of the DK. All right. But, yeah, he's... Fuck you. Roger's just shaking his head at me. I thought that was pretty good.
It was good, dude.
He is bigger, stronger, and faster too. But they talk about this gear. Joe's like, "Well, why can't we just get some fancy gear?" He's like, "No way. Like, that stuff's custom made. It won't work for anyone else. Your body couldn't even handle it, man. That guy trained, even without the gear, his body is so much better trained than yours. It won't happen." And Joe's like, "You got a mighty strong opinion of this guy. Why don't you marry him then?" But, yeah, and Nanbu also tells him we can't afford it anyway. They stop for a second as Nanbu almost hits an old lady and then honks at her. And a girl selling some apples on the street runs over and like gives one to Joe, and Joe takes. He's like, "Cool," and then they drive off. And as they're driving, Joe looks up and sees this little cross hanging from the rearview mirror, which has a saying on it in Spanish, which I did look up. It says, translates to "God squeezes but doesn't drown." Or, well, okay, so the word it uses, if you use the masculine form with the O on the end, it translates to choke, which I think makes more sense. But God squeezes but doesn't choke. God squeezes but doesn't drown. Basically, you gonna hurt, you ain't gonna die. It's good stuff. But as he's also remembering the fight with Yuri as they're driving after he reads that. And then Nanbu's like, "Hey, are you even listening to me?" And he looks up, he's like, "What?" And then he looks down and realizes that apple he just got, he has crushed it. Like to just a core. Like he was so intense remembering this fight with Yuri. It's good stuff. So then the next scene, we get a bunch of street kids. Oh hell, these fucking street
hooligans, man.
These little hooligans. Okay, here's all the names. I think I got them all. Because they don't tell you all them at once. One of them in particular you don't find out until a bit later. But Oicho is the little one. It's like appears to be the youngest. Got a shirt like with the sleeves way past their hands and just bloop, bloop, bloop. These little fucking kids. Sachio is the one with the hat, and that's the one that we're going to spend the most time with, it seems. And we also have Bonjiri, which is the chubby guy who we see a little bit later. And lastly, the one who is maybe the de facto leader, kind of seems to be running things mostly. We find out later is named Santa. Or maybe Santa, but it's fun to say either way.
Santa, dude.
Little Santa. Hi, I'm Santa. He's got this weird little top knot, like goofy haircut. But they're aiming to scam this guy who's selling cameras, and they do just that. Basically, they have a little...
They rob his sorry-ass blind.
The little guy, Oicho, like, distracts him. He's like, "Hey, can I see your camera?" He's like, "Get out of here, kid." Meanwhile, fucking Santa runs over, drops a little, like, robot mouse into the thing, and Sachio has the control for it and is making it bzz, bzz, bzz. Apparently, this thing is just like a hacking device because he uses it to break into a place later. But he got bzz, 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 and, like, gets the fucking thing... like dancing around in there. Oicho's like, "Hey, there's a mouse chewing up on your cameras," and he's like, oh, what the hell? And he opens it and pulls it out, and while he's doing that, the other kids just like run in and grab cameras out of his fucking thing and bail. So they managed to steal a few cameras. Then we cut to Joe and Nambu, who are getting parts at Goskino, I think it was called. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing the guy who runs the place is Goskino, but I don't know. It's the sign. That's what the sign says anyway. So it seems like some kind of pawn shop. Mm-hmm. We also see the kids running up like as they're in there getting parts for Joe's gear. Nambu, as the dude goes to the back, spots a sweet set of gear, says it's comparable to the latest model. It's really good stuff. Just as fast, about as fast as the latest models. This stuff could really give them an edge if they could get it. And meanwhile, this big bouncer dude brags that his gear has more power. Is this huge fucking guy wearing this massive gear behind him. No gloves on his. It's important to point out because this dude is not using it to box and fight. He's using it to beat the shit out of people. He's like a bouncer for this place. We find out his name is Potemkin Higashi. Yeah. Former Megaloboxer. Dude is pretty imposing.
What was his rank? Did they say his rank?
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second, actually. It's in my notes. You think I missed that? I don't miss nothing. This is the episode I wrote 7 pages on, man. I ain't missing nothing.
You didn't miss anything.
You never know when something might come back, man. I want to make sure I mention it. But the kids show up. They're trading their ill-gotten cameras for some red candy, we find out in a second. But meanwhile, while the guy takes their stuff and goes to the back to get whatever they're getting, Joe mentions Megalonia and Sachio, who's sitting there, who just handed off the camera, perks up. He's like, huh? He's like, huh. And fucking Potemkin Higashi, the big guy, he's like, what, you think you're getting in over someone who was ranked 96th once? It's pretty good. He was ranked 96. And I love this scene because fucking Joe just looks over at Nambu. He's like, you ever heard of this guy? No, never. And he gets all pissed. It's great. But the kids are paid in red candy, which Nambu immediately, as they're Sachio gets it, hands the 3 others like their candies, and they all start eating, and they're just like, And fucking Nambu says, yeah, that stuff will rot your brain, kids. And the guy running the place, it seems like it, because the guy running the place says, hey, man, these kids are street urchins. They've only ever lived on the streets, but this little bit, this stuff helps them escape the harsh reality. And I'm like, this seems fucked up.
Yeah.
Is this drugs? Are they giving drugs to the children?
They are drugs.
It sure as hell seems like it. It's weird. But he only gives them 3 pieces, even though there's 4 kids. Sachio goes without. He is pissed off. He argues with the dude and ends up breaking his snow globe in the process. This little snow globe he's got sitting on his thing, and cuts the guy's arms with the guy's arm ends up getting cut with it when it breaks on his arm. And he's all pissed off. He pulls out a knife and starts going after this kid, but Joe jumps in, ducks, dodges, bobs and weaves all the dude's slices, and manages to grab his hand. He's like, come on. And eventually, like, the dude calls for Higashi, his big boy, and like by then they finally manage to get out and they're leaving. But Joe does have a new cut across the bridge of his nose, and fucking Nambu's like, why would you even do that? Just stay out of the shit. You could have got hurt. We got to fight, man. And he says, yeah, well, he was just a kid, not a cute kid, but still, which is a pretty good line. Nambu has procured them somehow this rundown bridge, this rundown gym under a bridge down by the river. And he explains that while they're getting ready, they're about to do
what? If there was anywhere in the world that I would want to train something like that,
by a bridge,
it'd be under that bridge by the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good place to...
Yeah, it's a nice little zone there, man.
Yeah, and you can go for a jog down by the river, which is what Joe does in a second. Yeah, it makes sense. It does look fucking shitty, though.
It does look shitty, but...
It's real shit. I mean, there's no walls even. It's just open.
But that's where you go to get... homeless gym. That's where you go to get hard, dude.
Okay.
You get super hard.
You know where I go to get hard? No, I don't. Anyway... Nambu explains that they got a fight set up with this guy ranked 185, Shark Samajima, also called the Man-Eater. 70% of his losses were over disqualification. So he's got trouble finding opponents. He'll fight pretty much anyone he can get because no one wants to fight the guy because he's known for being real, real dirty. Nambu's got some training shots with Joe here. And Nambu's got like this training gear on with the big pads. Is like Joe's not wearing anything, and he's wearing pants. He doesn't have a shirt on. He doesn't have gear on, and he's explaining to him he's got something he needs to show him. And they start training, and Nambu, like as Joe's punching and shit, and like they're sparring, he just slaps him in the side of the head like mid fight. He's like, what the hell? They go at it again. He just hits him again. He says, you focus on trying to intercept and you keep letting your guard down. Hits Joe 2 times while this is happening. He says, stop trying to parry when you don't need to and keep that guard up. And Joe's like, well, hey, shouldn't I be wearing my gear or something? He says, no, your gear's being updated. No matter how good the gear is, it always comes down to who's wearing it. It's good stuff. The kids are watching from nearby, and Sachio looks up Joe's stats on that little thingy he's got, his little computer thing he's got, and sees that he's ranked last, and they're like, oh, fuck this, and they fuck off into the night. The next day, though, they are back there again, and Sachio's the only one paying attention. The other kids are playing in a puddle, and Nambu gets pissed off. They're distracting him, but Sachio's sitting there really intently watching all this, and Joe's trying out his upgraded gear, and Nambu's telling him, oh yeah, this is going to be good stuff. It ought to hit 2, maybe 3 times harder. It's going to be great. And Sachio's like, wrong, and just interrupts him and gets in the ring. You can't win with that gear. And he explains that it may be more powerful, but the extra weight is going to strain his arms, and that he's not going to be able to make it past round 1 with that gear if he can't keep his arm, if he can't keep his stamina going. More power, less speed, it's not going to work. And Pops agrees. He says, man, you know a lot for a little kid, but he tells him, listen, we got no other choice here. There's nothing else we can do about this. And Sachio tries to get in his face. Nambu, they struggle with each other for a second. He's like, come on, beat it, kid. And as they're doing so, his hat falls off. And we see some kind of family photo inside the hat. And what appears to be Sachio and a man and a woman. And they seem to be dressed pretty nicely. So we don't know what this kid's story is. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing we'll find out later.
You will.
Cool. But Joe picks it up. Doesn't appear to have noticed the picture maybe, but he asks Sachio why he keeps coming over, and Sachio grabs his hat back and puts it on and says, hey, if you're really going to Megalonia, will you take me with you? And Joe says, listen, we don't have time to be looking after some kid who can't even handle himself. Piss off. Sachio runs off and calls him, quote, a bottom-ranked bastard, which I thought was pretty good. Later, Nanbu's all pissed off. It's nighttime. He's on the boat that they're staying on and throwing empty bottles against the wall and whatnot. Says, yeah, I know that gear won't last, but he's desperate. He remembers his conversations with Fujimaki, and dude doesn't want to die because he can't win. They can't win these fights, so he's going to take whatever he can. That night, we see Sachio breaking into the pawn shop using that little device of his. And I don't know if it just straight up hacked the door. Is this a do anything? Is it a fucking tricorder? Or if he's using that little mouse or something to hit the lock on the other side. I don't know. But whatever it is, he used that little device he's got to break in. And he gets in and he goes to the back area where we know that gear is, and he sees something. And then we hear someone coming that way, and then it cuts back. Joe is finishing a run to find a fire on the boat. His fucking gear has overheated and burst into flames. And Nambu's putting it out. It's overheated. And they're all pissed off. It's like, what the hell are we going to do now? And then the kids, without Sachio, show up. They've got a big wagon that they're pulling with a bike, and it's that gear from the pawn shop. They explain that Sachio got caught stealing that gear, but he told them they had to get it to Joe. And they're saying, please, they're begging him, you got to help Sachio. We cut back to Sachio, and he is getting fucking knuckled around by Potemkin, the big guy, Higashi. Shop owner says he wants his gear back, but Sachio says he was just taking back what's theirs. They found that gear. He paid him next to nothing for it. It's not right, so that he just took it back. Shitty, but deal's a deal, dude. Big Boy is putting the literal squeeze on Sachio. He actually starts bleeding from his nose as he just squeezes his tiny little body. These kids are fucking 7 tops. They're tiny.
7 to 10.
7 to 10, somewhere in that range. And as he's squeezing the life out of his kid, all of a sudden, Joe's fucking motorcycle, with Joe right behind it, flies through the window and nails this everybody ducks and out of the way. And he punches the shit out of Shop Dude, grabs the kid, and he's like, hey, why do you care so much? He actually says that. Sachio, as he's passing out, tells him, you needed that gear, and Joe's just like, why do you care? And then they get outside, and Joe takes Sachio back over to Pops and the kids. The kids run over, with fucking bandsaws and, fucking crowbars and shit, they're gonna do something, because Big Boy's just come out, too. And Joe tells him, oh, no, I got this. And he walks over, pulls off his jacket, and he's wearing that badass gear. And when they start going at it, it's looking pretty good. There's a great scene where they start fighting, but he blocks a couple punches, that gear starts a sparking and breaking because dude is not wearing boxing gloves. And it is not, that's designed to, like, keep you from breaking your shit. In fact, metal on metal, no, the big boy stuff is definitely just going to shatter yours. And it does. The stuff fucking breaks down, sparks up. Sachio runs over and grabs a crowbar and gets it off of him. And Nambu says, we got to get the hell out of here. And Joe stands up. He says, no. And he looks at him and he says, it's not the gear, but it's who's wearing it. And he looks at Nambu and he says, hey, you're a good... You're the master tactician. What should I do here? And he says, well, your punches are getting to him. Like, he got a few hits on the guy, and the dude is bleeding from his nose and ears. He's doing work, but he says, what you're going to have to do is counter. You're going to have to dodge and counter. And it's all going to come down to whether that big boy throws a right or a left. And Sachio says he can call it. He'll make the call. And Joe starts running toward him. And Sachio is explaining that the dude's gears have a different sound, whether it's the right or left side. And he hears this high-pitched word, and he says it's a left. And fucking Joe runs in, ducks it, and decks this fucker. Like, just ducks and delivers, like, straight to the dude's head. He goes down, and then Joe goes back, grabs his jacket, walks back over to the truck, and he starts to get in, and Sachio's like, okay. And he starts to, like, turn around like he's going to leave. And Joe tells him, hey, you're coming to Megalonia with us, right? Where are you going? And then they get in, and Nanbu says, all right, well, this is fucked up. We got no gear, but I got a plan. And that's episode 3.
That's episode 3. Did you say what rank he was?
Who, that guy?
Yeah.
The big boy?
Yeah.
96. I said earlier.
Yeah. I just missed you saying it. Those damn dogs are out there barking, so it's distracting me.
Oh, you'll be fine. They do pick up on the mics, but just barely. You got to turn the volume all the way up. Ain't nobody paying attention to that.
I think they are, dude.
They're too busy hearing the sultry sounds of our voices. Do you hear me in your ear right now?
Knock on the neighbor's door, dude. Right one night in the middle of the night, be like,
I'm a little fly in your ear.
Hey, it's 11 p.m. Why the hell are your dogs still barking? Bring them inside. That's what I'm gonna tell them.
The worst.
I'm gonna Megalobox their teeth in.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
You would never. You're a fucking pacifist. Anyway, what did we have a little end quote at that one?
Yes, we did.
What was it?
You're just crying sour grapes. Machines don't breathe to begin with.
Fun.
Yeah, you're just crying sour grapes. Machines don't breathe to begin with.
Yeah, so don't cry over your gear is dead. Don't cry over it because it's just a machine anyway. Who gives a shit? All right, episode 4.
Let's dance with death.
This is a good one. Joe, Nambu, and Sachio are standing about to enter this big arena, and the referee is announcing Shark Samajima. It's the day of the fight. And then, as he enters to pretty good fanfare, as they're about to walk in, Nambu and Sachio are like, this is crazy, right? And Nambu's like, well, you think anyone sane would do what we're about to? And the referee announces from the west corner, I believe, Gearless Joe. And the fucking door opens. Joe takes off his jacket. He walks in. He is fighting nude. He has his pants on. He has no gear. He is fighting without his robo arms. The night previous, Nambu is explaining that they have to make an impact. Essentially, he's got a gimmick. Essentially. Yeah. But more importantly, fighting gearless is guaranteeing that attention will be paid, and those first 3 fights are going to be all about building a reputation. Yeah, they got to fight with the guy at 185. He's down at 257, so that's a huge jump. And then 2 and 3, the 2 and 3 will be more reputation building, getting more attention. And those final 2 fights, 4 and 5, are going to be what actually breaks him into the top spots. That's the plan. And he says again, his plan has changed so many times, and now this is a true underdog story at this point. Nambu explains, no gear, 5 fights, 5 wins. That's my plan. And Joe says, all right, I'm all in, because the goal is not just to get there. That's how they get there, these 5 fights. Mm-hmm. But it's not just getting there. Joe wants to win, and he intends to. So the crowd, as Joe enters and gets into the ring, they fucking hate him. They're throwing jokes. Hey, do you need a loan to get some gear? Hey, did you forget something, buddy? And they are booing and they're screaming at him. And the ref explains to the crowd, hey, they requested to fight with that gear, and there is no regulation that says they have to. No rules are broken. This will be a standard fight, but one of them doesn't have gear. And that's it. And the crowd is insulted. They see it as an insult to megaloboxing. They say, one guy screams, kill this guy, Samajima. He's making a mockery of megaloboxing. And as they get ready, Joe is shaking in the corner. And Nambu notices it and he tells him, hey, it's your last chance to run. He says, no. I'm just excited. And the fight starts versus Shark Samajima. And they start by jabbing at each other.
Shark has some cool gear, too.
Shark has some cool-ass gears. This crazy-ass, like, blue metal going down both arms. It's got these, like, little pistons that pop off and spin and whir around and then go back in, like, on his shoulders.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick-looking, man. But as we've already heard, dude's kind of a asshole who likes to get disqualified for fucking around and going a little too hard, it seems. And this is obviously getting under his skin because everybody's pissed and he's pissed too. When they face off in the middle of the ring, he actually like leans in and I think he tells him you're dead or something like that. And Joe's like, just try it. So fight starts and they're just jabbing at each other, man. Joe gets a few good hits in and then but you know, a fucking Samajima goes at him and gets one good punch in, and Joe has to throw up his arms and block it, which normally you'd have some gear. This would not be so bad, but you ain't got no gear. This fucker takes that hit, flies backwards into the ropes, and flops onto the ground. And he stays there for a while. They really milk this one in the fucking anime. Yeah. He is laying there. The whole ring, like it's a high-tech ring, the whole ring like turns red with these white stripes on it, like a warning kind of thing. It is bad. And he lays there just going, like for a while. And Nambu's screaming, Joe, get up. And the fucking crowd's going nuts. Samajima is over here in the fucking, like, at the ropes, like, with his hands up, like, yeah, fuck this guy, right? And the crowd loves it. They fucking hate Joe. Joe finally gets up at 9. Yep. Yeah, a fucking 9 count. And Joe, he stands there. He puts his hands up. And Samajima comes at him. And the bell goes. And Joe was not even moving. He was not, he didn't even try. Like when dude was running at him, he didn't move. He didn't try to duck. He didn't do anything. He was about to get fucking steamrolled. Yeah. And we can make the argument that maybe he knew the fucking bell was about to ring. But no, the dude is shook. He is very shaken here. And back in the corner, Nambu's trying to tell him, hey, what the hell was that? You weren't even moving toward the end. But Joe isn't even present, man. He is breathing hard. He is sweating. He's still shaking. He's freaked. He's freaked out real bad. Outside the ring, Sachio's like looking at this like, oh, what the hell, and ends up accidentally spilling the ice bucket. Nambu tries to go through the ropes and fucking falls, and the team's a laughingstock. Everyone's just laughing and making fun of him. And as Joe gets up for the next round and gets into the ring, he feels his feet start sinking. The ring suddenly is like water, and he's just like, he's real sluggish. He can barely move, man. It's not looking good. And as he's in there, he spends almost the entire round just running away from Samajima, just ducking and getting away from him anytime he can. He almost like goes the fuck down when like Samajima goes in for a huge punch and he like ducks at the last second against the ropes. And he just keeps running. The crowd is yelling at him, hey, quit running, you asshole, like actually fight, etc., etc. Samajima ends up fouling him, grabs him in a headlock, throws him down, and straight up ground pounds this dude. That counts as 1 fucking foul, and you get 3 apparently. That seemed like a lot more than 1 to me. But his corner, the guys in his corner call him off, and they remind him, hey, if you foul out again, you're banned from the fighting, so you got to get this right. So he gets up. Nambu is screaming, hey, fight back, why aren't you fighting back? And his feet keep sinking. They just keep, he can't move right, man. The whole ring just feels like jello to this guy. Sachio is with Nambu, and he grabs his arm and tells him, hey, Joe's moving around weird, man. Come on. And Nambu just pushes him away from him. Round ends. Nambu and Joe are arguing. Sachio gets up on the turnbuckle behind fucking Joe and dumps the water ball onto Nambu and manages to shut them both up. And he says, listen, you gotta focus on this, man. He says, Nambu, you're no better than the rest of the crowd. You're yelling at Joe when he's one punch away from death. And Joe, you're no better either, thinking you can do this all on your own, because Joe's telling him, Nambu, the whole time they're arguing, is saying, hey, you gotta fight back if you can't win if you can't hit him. And Joe's like, well, he can't win if he can't hit me. That's not a good strategy. You ain't gonna time this fucker out. But yeah, it's rough stuff. And Sachio actually starts crying. He says, no, I'm not crying. He just pulls his hat over his face. And Nanbu realizes, yeah, you're right. And he says, hey, Joe. And Joe's like, yeah, I got it. I gotta hit him. I just gotta fight back. And he says, no, Joe. And he sits him down. And Joe's like, what, man? And Nanbu looks at him and says, listen, fear is a human instinct. It's there to keep you safe, but boxers have to take that fear and master it. Your body is telling you that you're afraid, but you got to use it. And fucking Joe looks down and sees his arms are still shaking, and he like grabs one of them to try and stop it, but he just keeps shaking. And Nambu says, some second I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he's got that arm spaghetti, dude. Mm-hmm. Spaghetti on spaghetti already.
God damn it. His arm spaghetti, knees weak, arm spaghetti. He's vomiting on spaghetti already.
It's Jose Mile, dude.
The worst. Anyway, but yeah, Nobu called it, and Joe can't move like usual. And he says, listen, he reassures him, and he tells him, you're going to use that fear, you're going to use it, but you got to remember that you can't make this on your own, but there's 3 of us. And Joe kind of smirks at him and looks at him and says, all right, tell me what to do. And Joe walks back in, and he's got a new confidence. And
he's light on his feet.
He starts tippity tapping
anymore.
He starts tippity around. He's floating like a butterfly. He might just sting like a bee. We'll find out. But he's tippity tapping around that ring like he's goddamn Fred Astaire, man. He is light on his feet. And Samajima gets close. As he's getting closer, Joe's just like ducking and diving everywhere. And Nambu is telling him, yeah, don't let him lead. You make him dance with you. And Joe gets in a few good hits. He's dodging everything. And when Samajima goes in for that big punch, Joe just, as he's ducking backward, pivots and just slams this fucker. I mean, from way down here. He's got this crazy overhand right that he just nails this fucker with this like you can trace the arch from his foot all the way up to his goddamn hand. It is a huge power hit. And this fucker goes down real hard, and the count gets to 7 before the ref runs over and calls it. It's over. Dude is out. 1:17 into round 3, and it starts slow with one guy.
Yep.
But there's the clap happens, the applause fucking happens, and god damn it, he won that fight.
Yep.
But
he
yeah,
whooped a little ass.
He whooped a little ass. He ate a little cheeseburger. But yeah, it was a good one, man. And they start screaming, great job, you proved us wrong. And they fucking love it. They fucking love it.
They fucking love him, dude.
Joe and Nanbu have a little talk on the way back. They kind of, make up. Sachio is snoozing in the back, but in his sleep, he screams out, you think you phonies will never make it to Megalonia or something like that as he's snoozing, which is pretty great. And then we get a montage of the next 2 fights. Joe fights Oso Hormignero, which gets him up to rank 39, and then beats Albert Kashima and gets up to 102. Now, Albert, I don't believe is an animal name, but it's just Albert with an L, but whatever. And we also see Yukiko looking over the rankings, and let me tell you, okay, I gotta interrupt us one more time for these fucking rankings and numbers, because Joe moves up. Now here's, first off, in the previous set we had Polar Bear Shirakawa, Donkey Vegeta, Trout Sanchez, and Meerkat Watanabe.
Did all you of say those Donkey guys, Vegeta?
Fujita, yes, Donkey okay. Fujita. Now I will point out, all 4 of those fuckers were ranked 246, 247, 248, 249, those same 4 names. And now when we cut back, they're ranked 135, 136, 137, 138. That is more than 100 fucking jumps up. Y'all didn't think I was gonna pause this, did you, Megalobox? You didn't think I was gonna read this shit. I want to know how them 4 motherfuckers jumped up that goddamn high. That don't make no sense at all. But I digress.
Maybe they're on that Joe track. Dude.
Maybe they're on that Joe track. But more importantly, we really got to talk about this one because we also see Yukiko looking over the goddamn rankings. And the names on here, first of all, there's some pretty great ones. Ranked at number 83, Elephant Yokoyama. We got Sardine Weaver, Nicholas Wolf. That's a good one. Fedo Smith, Hound Diaz, etc., etc. Mole Hopkins is up there. He was way down low. He jumped up too. Y'all tell me about that one. Porcupine Hatton. That's amazing. Bobcat Bob. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's my kind of name, dude.
That's your dude from Retzko. Yeah, Bob man. The Big Bobcat.
He's Bob the Bobcat, dude.
There's also a guy named Boy. I can't read that one good. Shimp O'Brien, SHMP. There's no vowel in there, just SHMP. Shimp. Maybe shrimp. But Golden Kanabako, good stuff. We have to talk about this though, because ranked at number 100, I swear to Christ, Mighty R. Kelly. What the fuck is R. Kelly doing in this anime?
Mighty R. Kelly, huh?
Mighty R. Kelly is ranked number 100 on this list.
Mr. PP himself?
What the fuck is that, man?
He peeing his way to the top?
Hey, man, that guy's getting fucking Me Too'd. He's got a lot of accusations against him. It is not a good time. I mean, we already knew that shit.
Well, yeah.
It's not good. But fuck R. Kelly and fuck this. Why is he in there? Why is Mighty R. Kelly on this list? And I swear to God, it's like mighty.r.kelly from Team R&B.
Yeah, Team R&B.
Like that's a reference. I'm not crazy.
I'm pretty sure you're not crazy, dude.
Anyway, that's a good one. I would also like to point out, ranked number 104, God Bolus.
Nicol Bolas?
Maybe. There's some good shit in here. Fox Inky, Rhinoceros Miller, Nautilus Robinson. Hell yeah. It reminds me a lot of when you were playing like fucking Metal Gear Solid 5 and you had all those recruits. It was like, this is Golden
Lynx.
Golden Lynx and Bastard Crab was my favorite.
Yeah, Bastard Crab.
Anyway, that's enough names. I'm done with the names.
Ostrich.
I'm done with the names for right now, but rest a goddamn sure that if they fucking show more of these rankings, I'm pausing it every time and taking pictures of these names because they're amazing. But
you got
I digress.
Mighty R. Kelly in there, dude.
Fucking Mighty. I can't believe that bullshit. From Team R&B? Are you kidding me?
It's R. Kelly, dude. R. Kelly is...
Gonna give you some pee.
R. Kelly's Megalobox.
It's the fucking worst. I hate that shit. R. Kelly's a monster and he doesn't deserve to have any fame anymore. All right. We see Yukiko looking over the rankings. She is shocked and maybe a little bit appalled to see that Joe is on the list. Back at the trash gym, which is what I'm calling it, Nanbu has erected a sign calling
the gym under the bridge.
Well, no, now they're Team Nowhere.
Yeah.
That's what the sign says anyway. And Joe says, well, it's better than what you wanted to call it, which he pulls out a piece of paper that says the Nanbu Gasuka Gym, which is pretty good. Gonsuka, I believe is the name. Nanbu Gonsuka. Satya says it's pretty great because it's like it makes sense for them. We're starting down here with nothing. And he asks if Nanbu has the fourth fight lined up, and he says, oh yeah, I got a pro in the biz to find us the toughest guy he could. And his phone beeps, speak of the devil. He meets with Mr. Yanbunma, who of course greets him as the other agents have. You get the feeling this guy's been in the game for a while. He says, well, if it isn't Nanbu. And Nanbu says, don't do that shit. You called me. And he says, listen, I want a good fight here, but I'm not taking anybody below rank 50. And Yanbuma tells him, oh, well, don't worry about that because the guy we found is rank 17. And Nanbu actually says, damn, Yanbuma. He's impressed. He actually says, damn, Yanbuma, like, hell yeah. And he's very impressed. He's like, I'm obviously, I made the right decision coming to you. And Yanbuma says, well, he wants to take that praise, but he says, I'll be honest. They asked for this one. They wanted to fight this guy, and Nanbu says, "Well, who is this guy anyway?" He says, "Oh, well, there he is now. We see this figure walking up the stairs." He says he wanted to give you his regards. And Nambu turns around and is shocked. He recognizes this man. We do not yet. But the man standing there has scars on his face, a really huge one over like the left side of his face, in fact, possibly a burn scar, I'm not sure. And he stands there for a second and he says, "Oh, how's it going, Coach Nambu?" We get the feeling Nambu's been in this business for a while since all these agents know him, and now we meet what is apparently a previous client of his. And that's episode 4.
And our little tag at the end is, so, where are you... Sorry, I was reading the wrong tag.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
Spoilers.
I'd rather boogie with that babe than dance with the Reaper. It's a good one, dude.
That is a good one.
I'd rather boogie with that babe than dance with the Reaper. I mean, I would say that I would probably rather, dance with some girl than die.
Don't fear the Reaper, bro. Bang, boom, bang, bang, boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang.
So what do you think so far, dude?
I'm into it, man. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. And these episodes, they pass like this.
Yeah, they go by quickly. They go by very quickly. It was very hard for me to not watch ahead because this show's pretty rad. I will say this, that as I've discussed before, I don't mind a good action. I usually go for kind of a, slice of life or even some romancy kind of stuff. Those are the kind of shits I like. I love a good story and whatnot.
Yeah. He's the prettiest princess.
Okay, yes. But I am the prettiest princess. But this is one of those that you got to know what you're getting into. And you know what you're getting into. It is, as I said, testosterone fueled fucking fun ride. You're going to get a lot of dudes. And a lot of big egos and a lot of punching. Apparently, these next few episodes get a little bit different. As I said, I was kind of bummed out that, again, there's literally only one female character presented, and she's, again, played a kind of a villain, which kind of blows. But we'll find out, man. I'm into it. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to see what happens next.
She is not so much a villain. You'll start figuring out who the villains are.
Right. I mean, I would guess it's the fucking Yakuza guy.
You would guess. But
we'll go
now
ahead.
We're about to get stories. The way they do the rest of the series is now you're going to have a build into every single fight. Because every fight is very important now.
I'm down. I'm feeling it. I'm ready for more. And join us next week for more when we cover the next 5 episodes.
Yeah, 5 through 9.
It's going to be, 5 through 9.
7, 8, 9. Yep, that's right. I had to count on my fingers. Because Brandon made me second guess myself. 5 through 9.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with second guess yourself. Measure twice, cut once, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's it for our recap for right now. Hey Roger.
Yes.
Do we got some questions?
We do have some questions.
We got some questions. Oh shit. You son of a bitch. All right.
We got 2 questions this week. Let me make sure that we don't have one.
Ending theme is fucking sick. I do love it.
It is so good. I freaking love it. Okay. 2 questions. First question from we haven't heard from him in a week or so. Our good buddy Clayton.
Oh shit. It's the return.
He asked, who is the one anti-hero or villain in an anime that gets off the lightest for their crimes? I feel like it's got to be Vegeta, right?
Oh yeah, that dude's a straight up war criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so. He blew up that whole planet of those bug people.
Also, Jesse and James from Pokemon.
They've done some fairly heinous stuff. I still love them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're better than Butch and Cassidy.
Well, they're not an anti-hero, I guess. Vegeta is an anti-hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another good one.
What else we got? I know you hate it, but I remember when I did watch Inuyasha, that fucking Sesshomaru guy was pretty sick.
Oh, yeah.
He did a bunch of crazy stuff and ended up being really more of a, toward the end, more of a hero. I think he ended up dying pretty hard.
Would you consider Stain as an anti-hero?
You know,
because I don't think that I would, but I could see the argument being made.
But we're talking about people who got off easy. And this guy straight up got locked up. I mean, and almost dead.
Yeah, and almost dead. That's true.
Yeah, I don't think I could go with that guy.
Yeah. I think I was just really asking if he was an anti-hero or not. That's kind of what I wanted to know.
You know, you wanna like the dude, but he was going around murdering people. So
Yeah.
He definitely had like one of the coolest, most original like powers I've seen in anything ever. Like that's one of my favorite things. Just they get cool superpowers and shit. That guy was rad. Fucking Hulk Hogan. No. Yeah, no, I don't know about Stain. I'm trying to think of any other anti-heroes. Jesus, I gave us a real big spike on the audio there. That had to be where I was laughing at you.
It is, dude. It never.
My bad, buddy.
It'll come out in the mix.
All right. I'm trying to think of some more anti-heroes. This is kind of a toughie. Your favorite series, Tenchi. Fucking Ryoko was kind of an anti-hero.
Yeah. But not as big as Vegeta. I think Vegeta.
Yeah, Vegeta's definitely the worst. Like, dude straight up murdered and destroyed entire planets, and ended up becoming, you know, a pretty integral part of the crew. So, it's for sure Vegeta.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I think I'd give it to Vegeta. Good old Vegeta, as we call him. You know why Bulma likes him so much?
Because he got that Vegeta pita?
No, because his name's Vegeta.
I don't get it. Oh no! Oh no! I get it, dude.
That took you a second. Oh, that's terrible, and I'm sorry. That's a joke I saw somewhere, and it made me laugh real hard. It sneaks up on you. It sneaks up on you, bud. All right, what else we got? Clayton, thank you so much for the question. That was
good question, dude.
I'm still trying to think of more anti-heroes. That's a good one.
Okay. So we got
that fucking dude from Rurouni Kenshin. That guy was cool. Not really an anti-hero. I mean, he ended up being a straight up
I know
hero.
what you're talking about. You're talking about
the dude.
The guy with the shorter blue hair.
I never got into that show really, but
I love Rurouni Kenshin.
I remember that dude being cool.
What is his name? I know his name. God, I know his name.
Oh, this is gonna take a half hour now. I'm sorry I brought it up.
We'll just type in anti-hero.
Jesus Christ.
He's the leader of the Oni Wabon group.
And you can't remember his name. You remember the name of his group, but not his name. Wow, what a loser. Yeah, come on.
Oni Wabon.
This is happening.
Group. We're going to find out right now. Oni Wabon group.
I'm dying.
There's
It's the Dead Air song.
I know,
this is the Dead Air song.
It's not Dead Air, dude. I'm talking.
Gotta sing the song so there's no dead air.
Aoshi.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that dude was pretty rad. Wow, that was a lot of work for not much conversation about it. Still Vegeta. All right. What do we got? Next question.
The next question we got is from our good buddy, Allie.
Thank you again, Clayton. Allie, my good buddy Allie. She sent me a very nice message on Facebook Messenger.
She always sent a nice message.
Shout out.
We played some Fortnite the other night.
Did you?
And Allie did some doubles on Fortnite. Yeah.
I told you, man. I got it on fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, but PlayStation has their shit on lock, dude. So you can't play with us on the Switch.
You got a PlayStation. Jump on the PlayStation.
No, I already made my microtransactions on the Switch.
Oh no! Why? You don't get anything. It's all cosmetic.
Yes, you do get stuff.
It's all cosmetic.
I don't want to go out there looking like a ding dong though.
Who cares what you look like when you
some
win?
Good emotes.
Who gives a shit when you win? You got all them fucking
one.
all them fuckers with the emotes and the cool costumes. They always fucking lose.
Well, hell, dude, if you
What's the best you did? What's your highest ranking?
Second place.
Second place?
Yeah, I've got second place like 3 or 4 times now.
Man, I've got.
Well, okay, on teams I've placed first several times.
Well, yeah, cause teams. Anyway,
so.
This fucking nerd with his Fortnite. God damn it.
Yeah, so.
Make me buy a fucking Switch.
Yeah, maybe you just butt chug and get your Switch.
How dare you, sir?
Allie asks.
Hi, Allie.
Hey, Allie. If you could have a quirk like one on My Hero Academia.
Oh, shit.
What would it be? Do you know what your hero name would be?
Oh, shit.
She says that she would want a quirk that personifies animals and inanimate objects.
Nice.
Like she could make a plate of spaghetti and meatballs talk. She wrote that.
That's fucking sick.
Or after that, or make it choke you.
It would have little meatball eyes and be like, "Your time has come," and then it just strangles you.
Her name would be Bukimi.
What the?
It means creepy in Japanese.
Holy shit. That's pretty great.
Because she'd only use it to weird everybody out and be as creepy as possible.
I love that, Allie. That's amazing.
That's a good one. You really thought this through. Now me and Brandon are gonna think. Okay.
Oh hell. Well, okay. You think I'm gonna talk about what I talked about before, which was, I like I said earlier in this very episode, one of my favorite things is just sitting around thinking about like weird superpowers I've never seen done before, and one of them was like we've had characters called Phoenix or whatever, like oh, I've got fire powers, or oh, I'm very powerfully psychic or some bullshit. That's not how a Phoenix do. A Phoenix dies and is reborn from their ashes. So I said in a previous episode, what I would like is if my power was nothing, but if I die, fucking huge explosion and I'm reborn out of it. Like I just come, which means I come walking out of this fucking fire like with no clothes. I'm like, someone get me pants. But the problem with that is that the only name that would make sense is fucking Suicide Bomber, because they would literally just, oh, we can't get through this big fortress of this giant fort they've got built up. We got to get to those villains. Just drop Brandon on it, and they just kick me out of the fucking plane, and I'm like, okay, bye, splat, and I just walk out like, okay. That would be mine. I like that. Beyond that, though, I don't know. Now I'll need to think. You thought of one yet?
I think I got one, dude.
Give it to me.
Okay, here's my power. I can make people believe something they own is trash. Okay? So, like... You're just real good at talking people into shit.
I
see somebody coming at me or coming at some people like they got a gun. They're holding their gun up. Well, now they think this gun is trash. It's a McDonald's
it's a literal
wrapper.
Piece of garbage.
Yes, like it's a piece of garbage. So they discard it, and then I collect whatever they get.
That's oddly
whatever
specific.
They drop, I collect it. It becomes mine, or I can use it for good or evil. I don't know.
That's oddly specific.
But if I'm like, you know what, my good buddy Brandon needs a Switch. Somebody's gonna have a trashy ass Switch, dude.
Stop.
It's gonna be a half-eaten burrito. They're gonna toss it in the garbage, and that Switch is gonna be mine. And
then someone else is gonna be like, "Hey, free burrito," and try to chomp on it.
No, only
them. So everybody else is just like, that guy just threw away a Switch, and so they just go
like,
for it.
Why you throw away your gun, dude? That's a McDonald's wrapper.
Stupid. Okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty silly, but it's pretty good.
But, I mean, for on the fly, dude, that's pretty sweet. I'm trying to think what my name would be. The Disposer. The disposable man.
Oh no! Oh no, Roger! Oh no!
Oh,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to censor things in real life. Like if someone's talking, someone could just be talking about anything, and I just like insert beeps so everybody just hears beep when they say something. And
the
they're
mad
like,
beeper.
Stupid. Or like, no, not just that, but I could also like blur people's faces and shit. like it'd be like that scene from Ghost, like from Ghost in the Shell. Remember when like they actually show you the guy when he held him up and he like sees someone recording him or whatever, and he like runs a code real quick and brink, that thing's over his face so no one can see it's him. Like that kind of shit.
Oh, dude, what about? Okay, so similar to my power. What if you could make, like, you could like train in on an object or something somebody was nearby, and you make it smell putrid.
So they try to get away. You're just focusing on making people hate shit they have.
It smells terrible.
You want people to hate the shit they have.
If you want people to evacuate an area, you make it smell really bad where they have to start leaving. And the name for that, if I were that, would be the ass blaster.
The worst. Okay, but what if
the blast aster? Like, I don't know.
It smells that bad. Like I'm saying, like if someone's at their job at the bank,
dude,
and like they're a security guard, they'll be like, "Oh, this fucking reeks," but also it's my job to stand here.
Rotten egg toots, dude.
It
burns your nose.
That's a bit. I don't know.
You gotta go.
Maybe.
You gotta get the hell out of there.
Or
you could attach it to a person and make the people around them think they shit their pants.
The phantom shitter. You're really having fun with that one, huh?
Yeah, dude. That's really good.
Jesus Christ.
Jeff over here is an asshole. Jeff just shit his pants to all his friends.
That's oddly specific. All right, now think of one that could actually help you save people's lives.
I'm pretty sure the trash one probably could.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how fucking mine would. I would just run up and kill myself in front of people. Yeah, that's bad. I want to... I don't know. It's kind of hard to think of stuff on the fly. Okay, what if, like, okay, teleportation, but I don't teleport myself. I can teleport other objects to a certain place. Like if, like someone walks in with a gun, if I can see it, I can be like, nope, foomp, and it's just in my hand now. Or conversely, if I'm like locked behind a thing, but I can see someone else and they need to fight someone, and I've got a gun, I can go foomp, and now it's in their hand. And if I was a villain, I could be like, oh, I wanna kill someone. If I have to kill someone, I could just be like, all right, let's say I have like some kind of narcotic, some kind of very strong drug, and I could just look at you and go, whoop, and now that's in your heart. That's pretty fucked up, but it's good.
Pretty gnarly. It's pretty OP, dude.
Well, maybe.
It's like maybe something like where you can control somebody's blood.
So you want to be a bloodbender? You're a bloodbender.
Yeah.
We've all seen Avatar. Just say bloodbender.
Yeah, but you can like thin it out and stuff if you need to.
Yeah. Okay. I tell you one I always like.
Is that a thing in Avatar? Is a bloodbender?
Yeah.
You
never watched the Avatar?
Not all of it, no.
Dude, you gotta check that shit out. There's good shit. But yeah, literally like...
Damn. Okay, so that power's off the table.
I'll tell you one I always liked, which obviously this is already a thing. Actually, the teleport thing might be a thing too. I might have read that somewhere. In fact, I'm almost certain I did now. But here's one I always liked. My favorite X-Man that's never been in any of the movies or TV shows or anything that I can think of. I've only ever seen him in the comics. Is this dude named Elixir. You know Elixir? Mm-hmm. This dude's incredibly powerful. First of all, he looks rad because his skin just looks like this bubbling gold liquid in a vial. Like he just looks like a bubbling liquid.
Yeah,
like
that's
elixir. What he looks like. He looks like an elixir. And his whole thing is that he can basically control life on a biological level. So as long as he understands how a thing works, he was mostly like a healer guy. Like, oh, I've got a cut. Okay, I understand how skin and fucking muscle works. So as long as he can see it, he can like make your skin heal itself. It is pretty easy, pretty obvious. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. So as long as he like, oh, you're suffering from some kind of horrible disease, as long as I know what that disease is, he can fix it and get it out of you. Conversely, there's an amazing, if y'all have never read House of M, I think it was in House of M, badass shit happens in this one. But basically, I forget, I think it was Stryker who went nuts and was like killing a bunch of mutants. He was basically just going through and killing a bunch of mutants. And he ends up killing the girl that Elixir has been dating. And Elixir goes batshit nuts. And he runs at this dude. And he just stands next to him and screams at him. And his pretty golden skin turns pitch black. Which is kind of like, it's kind of the Elixir of Life / what do you call, the Philosopher's Stone thing. Turn lead into gold. Yeah. Well, he's got a gold form. This is his lead form. And he basically does the opposite. And he faces down this guy, screams at him, and instead of healing him for anything, he gives this fucker every disease ever at once. And he just like goes and just shrivels into a goddamn husk and just falls over dead. And then he passes out because it's theorized, oh, you're not supposed to do that with your powers, so this is why you fucked up. And it took him a while to be able to do his regular shit again. Elixir's a badass. I've always wanted, like, if I could have any superpower that already exists, that guy.
Yeah.
I want to do that shit.
What about a power to where you could bring characters from
oh, no.
to like, if you're in an area with a fight or whatever, you can bring them out. Maybe not as OP or anything, but you can bring them out and... So,
like, you get into a fight at the arcade and you point at the Street Fighter machine and Ryu jumps out and helps you?
Yeah, he hits him with a hurricane kick or
now,
something like that.
I want you to promise me you're not just going to pull Mai out of fucking... Come on.
Dude, I wouldn't just pull Mai out to jiggle them big sexy boobies.
Okay. Okay, but I'm pretty sure you would. They jiggle on
their own, dude.
Okay. But if you're saying you're talking about bringing characters to life, is this the waifu power?
They can also be your friends.
Want the waifu power?
No, I'm about
to
say. Okay, so just imagine you order like,
you made me say it.
I ordered too many pizzas. Boom, Ninja Turtles are here, dude.
Here's all my friends.
Yeah,
the Ninja Turtles.
I need to get down this road faster. Boom, Street Sharks. You're riding the dorsal fin down Valley Mills, dude.
God damn it, dude. All right, well, this has been a time.
Yeah. But you have a regular name like Dan, so your superhero name has to be the Danimator.
Stop! Stop!
The Stanimator.
You just have the ability to bring fictional characters to life, basically, is what you're saying. Oh, I feel like there's a weird mystery here with some werewolves. Let's get Mulder and Scully out. They're real life people, though. Is that cool?
Yeah. You get the character. You don't get David Duchovny. You get Mulder.
This feels like you would use it to hang out with all your favorite anime characters you like. This feels like...
I mean, I probably would. Are you saying that I wouldn't get a harem?
God damn.
Because I probably would.
Oh no. See this? I can't. See, you can't just have that shit because you're gonna use it. You're gonna use it for that. God damn it.
But also,
all right. Well, this has been a fun time.
I'm eating some turtle pizza.
Okay,
not turtle pizza with the turtles.
So it does it have to be? Okay, here's my question. It does it have to be an existing character, or like could you just be like, okay, hang on, I'm gonna write and illustrate my own comic where my best friend, who is actual God and controls everything, and does whatever I say to because we're best friend, is a character, and then just be like, whoomp, all right, now I control the world.
I would say that the power would involve the character having to be known. People have to be able to
let's put a restriction on it. It only so you can summon a character, but it only can be seen and have any effect on people who are aware of that character.
Yes, okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were at the arcade and someone jumps in and you pull Ryu out of the machine, and he's like, oh, I've always been more of a Guilty Gear man myself. Nothing happens. He doesn't even know it's there. Doesn't even know who Ryu is. There's no way he would.
He's about to get hit by biking.
All right.
Because I want to just be pulling characters. Okay, it's very draining on you though. It's taxing to bring these people out, and your health is.
So you can get your whole harem. You ain't gonna do shit with them. You stupid asshole.
Your vitality is so if you pull out all 4 Ninja Turtles, your vitality is a fifth of what it would be.
Goddamn spider crawling on the microphone. Excuse me. All right, your vitality is a fifth of what it would. Yeah, because you got to split it between you and 4 turtles. Gotcha. Yeah.
So if they come gunning for you, dude, you're screwed.
Yeah,
but also if you're having a good time, you're having.
Also,
a good time.
If they never read Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
If they're not a fan of Ninja Turtles, never seen the cartoon.
Yeah, I feel like that's hard to miss.
I feel like there's a lot that's hard to miss, but like you get some weirdo who just lives in a cabin and decides he's gonna go to the city and fuck some shit up with his magical axe because that's his superpower. Then yeah, you might have a problem. You might not be super helpful in this situation.
Oh, it's cool power, dude.
It's cool for everybody else.
The Danimator. For the regular man. For the regular Dan.
You're the worst, and I love you and I hate you. All right. Are we done with the episode?
Great question, Allie.
That was very good. I loved it. Thank you, Allie, so much.
That was a good episode. I really enjoyed going through all that.
This was a good one. All right. So, next week, once again, we're covering the next 5 episodes. That's 5 through 9.
Brandon, I want to know that.
Oh no!
I want to know why I don't see a damn bug. Maybe an ant here and there, but as soon as you come in here to record, there's gonna be some bug coming out here. It's because you turn off the
AC and they start coming out because it's warm.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like I know you try to make it
I'm
about me.
I'm boning us.
Yeah, it's your fucking fault, asshole.
It's me.
You're the monster.
Oh no.
Anyway. Let's get the plugs out.
Okay.
So we got the Facebook.
We got Facebook at The Good Buddies Universe. Just go type that into your search.
We got Twitter.
I'll add you right in. You got the Twitter at TGB_anime pod, and that's all lowercase.
We also have the Tumblr, thegoodbuddies.tumblr.com. That's a good one. You can ask us questions there. You can ask us questions pretty much anywhere.
Anywhere you can leave a comment.
Yep. Including the YouTube, where you could be listening to this right now.
Yeah, Rapid Kick Media. Yep.
We also have, of course, where you can just regularly send us questions, our Gmail, which is...
thegoodbuddiesanimepod@gmail.com.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you like how I don't spell it out anymore?
I was just going to say thank you for not spelling it out anymore. But yeah, beyond that, of course, you can listen to our podcast anywhere podcasts are sold. We're on the Podbeans. We're on the Stitchers. Except for Spotify, but we're pretty much everywhere else. I use Podcast Addict. Shout out to all my Podbeans. And... lastly, I do want to give a shout out to our good buddies, Married with Seamonsters, aka the Mary Janes, for the use of our opening theme song, Paperdoll. You can find that at marriedwithseamonsters.bandcamp.com. They are also on Spotify. They get on Spotify. We can't get on Spotify. But all the cool stuff. The cool stuff is all on Bandcamp.
It just takes me migrating all of our stuff over.
That seems like a lot. Also, shout out to our good buddy Petty Theft. You can find for our ending theme song, which we still don't have a name for, but he is.
So we have our first submission for
we
a
have
name.
a submit. Oh shit!
Yeah,
new segment.
Our good buddy, Magic the Gathering Level 2 Judge Jonathan Buddy.
Oh fuck!
He has sent in a suggestion for Sweet Anime Dreams.
Ooh.
Yeah. I like it. So
I like it because it's Sweet Dreams specifically about animes.
So if we can get some more out there, maybe we'll pull from a hat. I don't know what the hell we'll do, but there we have right now.
Send in your submissions for what you think our rad closing theme song should be, and if you want to hear it, do you know if he has it on SoundCloud?
It's just
for us.
It's just for us.
Specifically, well, you'll hear it in a second, but you can check out Petty Theft stuff on SoundCloud. He is Petty Theft. That's 2 P's at the beginning, 2 T's at the end. Petty Theft out on SoundCloud.
Yep. You can also find him on Twitter if you want to contact him or anything like that. Of course.
Same thing. 2 P's, 2 T's.
Yep. Same thing.
Petty Theft.
Petty Theft.
Please. Petty Theft. All right.
Petty Theft.
Anyway, I think that's it for the.
I think so. I think we got everything plugged out.
Did I take us out last week?
I think I did. You did.
So you're gonna take us out this week.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna take us out this week.
From all of us here at the Good Buddies Universe, I'm your good buddy Brandon,
and I'm your good buddy Roger. Kakate Koya!
How's that gonna work?
It's gonna work.
All right, give me one more just to be safe.
Kakate Koya!